Hi everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den and welcome to day 2 of Favour week. Today we are building these little boxes which are called small faceted boxes, but I found it really hard to show you the score lines on on the designer series paper, so I'm actually going to do the box itself in card and the lid with designer series paper. Now these boxes will hold 2 Ferrero Rocher chocolates or whatever you like. Now if you are familiar with Table Favour week, from Monday to Friday for the last full week of November is what I call Table Favour week, and I make these little projects that don't take very long to do and can use up your scraps or whatever, so that you can actually give them as gifts for workmates. You could put them on your Christmas table, which is what I do with mine. They go on our Christmas table, or anything like that. Now you could also do them for other times of the year, like for birthdays or whatever. So this is what we're going to be building, and let me show you what you need. It's a huge amount. Now I've already stamped this out. This I stamped out of 1 3/4 inch circle punch, which what is 1 3/4 inches is 5 centimeters, just about. No, it's not. It's 4.5 centimeters. Duh, stupid. 5 centimeters is 2 inches. So this is all you need. Wow, how is that? So you'll need a main piece for your main box, which measures 8.5 by 3 1/4, and then for your lid you need a piece that measures 3 19/16 by 3 19/16. Now you do need that 19/16 for it to go onto the box nicely. If you do it that little bit smaller, it's really tight. If you do it a little bit bigger, it's wobbly as. So we don't want to do that. Now this is some nice new paper. This is out of the new, I can't think what this one's called, but I had a small piece left over, so I thought, well, we're going to do that. So we're going to start by bringing in our scoreboard, and we're going to score our main card on the short side. So we're going to score it on the short side at 3/4 inch. Oops, we're going to use the small ball, because we're using the, and I've got to get the glue off my finger because it's annoying me. 3/4 inch. And then we're going to also score it at the 2 inch mark. Then we're going to turn it so that the 3/4 inch mark, I think it is, no, and you're going to turn it so the 3/4 inch mark is closest to the top. And we're going to score this at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches and 8 inches all the way down. Okay, so then we're going to turn it all the way around so that this score line here now is on, I'm going to turn it over so that this line is then at this end. I think that's correct. Turn the card over so that the 2 inch score line is closest to the top, and you're going to score this at 1 inch, 3 inches, 5 inches and 7 inches. Now when we scored this, I forgot to tell you, when we scored this at 2 inches, and it's only down to that 3/4 inch line. So 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, down to that first 3/4 inch line and the 8 inch line all the way down. Then when we turn it over and we score it at 1 inch, 3 inches, 5 inches and 7 inches up to that 2 inch line. Okay, so we got that bit right. So while we've got our score in here, we might as well score our other piece, and I'm going to score it on this side because it's going to be easier. But because this is DSP, we need to use a big ball, and we're going to score this at, if I remember rightly, 3/4 inch, because this is my second try at making this. The first one, I ran out of my card, ran out, which wasn't very clever. So we're going to score this at 3/4 of an inch on all 3 sides. Just remembering, when you score with designer series paper, you want to do it quite gently. Okay, so that's all our scoring done. No, it's not all our scoring done. What am I talking about? So now we're going to bring in our card piece, and with our score line at the top, our 3/4 of an inch score line that is, we're now going to score using from this 1 inch score line up to that 3/4 of an inch score line. So on the diagonal we're going to score that like so. Okay, I don't know if you can see that very well. It's not a very good light. Then we're going to score from that 1 inch line up to the 2 inch mark on the diagonal. And then from that 3 inch back up to the 2 inch score line. And then from there to the, from the 3 inch up to the, stand still, 4 inch score line. And then from the 5 inch score line up to the 4 inch score line, and once again from that 5 inch up to the 6 inch score line, and then from that 7 inch up to the 6 inch, and then from the 7 inch up to the 8 inch. So we now have, if you can see that, the light is not the best on this lot here today. We have our score lines as diagonals across that piece. So now we can actually go and fold and burnish it. So this top score line, the 3/4 of an inch score line, we're going to score that as a valley fold. Alright, and the bottom one is going to be a mountain fold. We're also then going to fold all of these other folds, and we're just going to pinch them and fold them. You don't need to do them too hard, we just need to pinch them. If you wanted to, you could go across there with your bone folder. Oh, come on, get across there. I don't think it's quite necessary personally. And then this little one on the end here, we're going to get that a fold as well. So we've got all of these lines here all scored, burnished, all these bottom ones and all these top ones. So now what we're going to do is going to bring in our scissors, and on this bottom one, which is the longer end, right, where you've got the 1, 5, 7, 1, 5, sorry, 1, 3, 5, 7. Can't even count now, can I? We're going to cut up to that score line. Now these two here, we are going to leave them flush. This little one on this end, we're going to notch on one side and not the other. We are not notching on the side that is flat, we're notching on the other side. Leave that one, and we will notch this one on both pieces, just a little bit, just enough that it goes in much better. It doesn't have to be a real lot. And then again on this one here, we're only notching on the side here, not the straight edge down this edge. Okay, once we've done that, we're then going to just take a little piece off of this corner and a little bit off of this corner here, like so. That way it will go together nicely. Now you can't fold this across and lay it flat. To do it, you have to do it while it's up in the air, sort of thing. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put glue onto this tab end here. And we're bringing this other one across, and we're going to line it up so that the side score lines here and here match up with each other, which will then give you a nice triangle piece just there. And the top of the box is going to be nice and square. See that? We're going to bring this open. Now we know that this one is one that we put together, so we're going to pop the one opposite that in and put a bit of glue onto that. I'm not going to put a lot on it because it won't go all the way across. We're going to bring that one in and we're going to turn it up the other way, making sure it stays nice and level, and you can see that they lay on top of each other nicely. Pop them down so that they are square. Then we can bring these two in. Now that didn't stay down very well, did it? And we can pop some glue onto this one. And glue it in place. And some glue onto this one here. And glue that one into place so that it's all nice and square on the bottom. Like it's square on the top but the opposite way around. And then we can give it a really good push down. And that's our main box done. Now that looks just gorgeous on its own. So then we're going to bring in our lid, and I've got my little saying here, and we're going to fold and burnish all these score lines because it's easier to fold and burnish them and do it just softly. We don't want to do it hard because we don't want to crack our beautiful designer series paper. So once we've done that, we can see the score lines really well. We're then going to cut up the score line and notch it on both sides. Let's cut that one in a bit. There we go. Come on, that's it. So just cut just at the score line, notch it in. So we're just taking the score line away and we're notching that one. Turn it all the way around. We'll do the same on the other side. So we just bring it in and remove our score line. And notch it. Okay, so once we've done that, we can get rid of all our little bits. And we're going to then pop some glue, or you could use double-sided tape if you wanted to, onto each of these little tabs, folding that in to make a nice square corner. Happy with that one? Move around to the next. Beautiful. Now just remember these were 3 9/16, so that is just one little notch above 3 1/2. And you just need that little bit extra just to be able to for the lid to go on. Okay, once we've done that, we can pop the pin in our glue so we don't get it all everywhere. We can pop our lid on and you'll see that it fits on nice and snug without being terrible. Now you could do it all in thing and just put a square piece of designer series paper on the top. If you've only got a really tiny little piece, you could put that on the top, and that would be, what size would that be? That would be like a 1 7/8 square on the top, so that's 2 1/8 in size. So we're going to pop this onto the top, and I'm going to use glue again just to lay that flat onto there. Oh, come on, get off the top there, glue. That's better. And it doesn't matter which way, this paper is directional, so it's up to you. I'm going to pop that onto the top, like so. And I'm going to use one of these nice little berry things again. peppermint things. Because I already did this once and then I forgot to press record. Well, how stupid is that? So these are called adhesive back peppermints, black, red and white. So that is our box. The lid comes off lovely. It will fit 2 Ferrero Rochers in there nicely, or anything else you wanted to put in there, and you have a little box to put on your Christmas table. Now, as I say, you could do these for birthdays if you wished, or for a little gift for workmates. Any occasion would be great, but this is Table Favour week, so this was Table Favour number 2, which is Tuesday. So I'm not sure what the date is because I'm actually recording this a couple of weeks beforehand, because I'm actually busy that week. So I've actually recorded this before we get that far. So if you've enjoyed today's project, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like the written tutorial for this, head down below to Die Stem for stamping, crafting and tutorials. If you'd like to know more about this paper, please, you can contact me. I'd love you to be my customer, and I'd love you to leave me a comment and let me know what you think about Table Favour week, or if you've got any ideas for other projects for Table Favour week, let me know. And I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.